So many of our kids in pain are argumentative, and we don't want to fight, and we don't want to argue, and we want to go ahead as much as possible and not have discussions, especially about hot topics. For example, we had a parent that was here, and we're trying to build NKN, Nafshik Shur B'Nafshay, and he told me I had a very bad Shabbos with my kid. And we had a big fight. I said, what was the fight about? He said, politics. I said, what? Yeah, at the Shabbos table, my kid was saying about, I don't know if they were pro-Trump or anti-Trump. Let's say they were pro-Trump and I was anti-Trump, and we got into a heated debate. And we went ahead and it was a heated debate, and we fought, and I put her down, and she put me down, and she blew up, and our relationship went down because we fought about politics. I said, "What are you, crazy? You're real bona fide meshugana," and I don't talk like that. I'm like, you're the IV to your child, and you cut the IV on your child for the medicine over politics. I said, was CNN there? Was anybody there? Were you just, you had to fight with her for the world to see? Are you running for Congress? I mean, even so, even if you're running for president, you kill your kid? I said, you're in your dining room. Why do you have to argue? Why do you have to fight about politics? It makes a difference what you said. Over nothing, you ruined the only way to bring your child to be normal. The kid was suicidal. The kid had major problems. She retreated back into depression. You cause your kid to be depressed, and the only way to be Makar in Yiddishkeit and everything that you want is connection, and you ruin the connection because of politics. Did President Trump go ahead and thank you or whatever the other? What, are you crazy? So sometimes they argue about religion. Many times they say, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in. A lot of times, never, they say terrible things. They say smelly rabbis. The trust was broken. All rabbis are molesters. They say there was no Torah. There was no, it's all Baba Maisa. They could say a lot of painful things. No question about it. The first thing is, we don't let anything disconnect us. We don't let anything disconnect us. So the first thing is to say, listen, we have different views on politics, or we have different views on religion, but there's so many other things in the world to talk about. You know, Goyim never talk about religion. So let's not let our differences divide us. Let's let our love, I'll call Pshoim Chasa Ahava, right? On all sins, love conquers all. Let's let our love be the most supremely important thing, and let's not talk about anything that divides us. You believe that the Charedim should serve in the army, and I believe that they shouldn't, and you believe that they're this, you're anti, and I'm pro. We don't have to discuss this issue. Most of the people in the world are not discussing this issue. Let's not discuss things that divide us. Let's not let this go. We're allowed to have different beliefs. I respect you for your belief. You respect me for my belief, or you don't. But let's talk about everything else. It's like I met an atheist. I told him, you spend more time thinking about God that you say doesn't exist than I do. And I'm from. All day you're busy. There's no God. There's no God. I said, there's no God. Leave it alone already. The whole day he's busy. There's no God. There's no God. He's writing articles. There's no God. I said, if from people would think about God as much as you do, you're mamish tzaddikim. That's the first step. That's without skill. We're not going to let our differences divide us. And that's the way we should be with the Chilonim in Israel. They should say, you have to this, you that. You say, listen, we have different views, we have different perspectives, but I'm not letting that divide us. We're brothers. We're brothers. And we could disagree, but let's not let it divide us. If you don't know how to disagree properly, in a way that's going to build NKN, then we say that. But here's the skill that I told you I would reveal to you. You can disagree with somebody with the matara, with the goal and the focus to make you closer. How? I'll teach it to you. Let's say your child says they're against Torah. They say Torah never existed. Well, let's pick any topic, whatever it is. They say something. Now, here's the rules. First of all, you never ever put them down. You never say you're stupid, you're dumb. How could you say that? You don't put them down. You respect them, full respect, and you say, I hear what you're saying, but let me tell you my perspective, and you say your thing. And your kid might put you down, but you don't take it personal. So these are two things. You have to be a hecher mensch. You have to be have a lot of muscle, emotional muscle. Number one is, I'm never going to put you down. I'm not going to insult you. I'm not going to say, how could you think that? Like, you see like liberals fighting with the conservative, with the other people, right? And we think the liberals are mashuga. You're going to go teach 5-year-olds about changing your gender? You're out of your mind. There's no way to be respectful, but it doesn't help because they're looking at it like that. And they say, you're dinosaurs, and you're crazy old people. There's no dialogue. Sometimes it's so hard to have dialogue. But you ever see these debates? You ever watch the debates? I don't think there's any purpose to ever debate anybody, because I've never seen a debate that this person convinced this person of anything, and this person convinced this person of anything. They both leave the debate more entrenched in their own thought. So what kind of a debate is that? So if you're debating to run for president, you're going to continue your way. You're going to continue your way. You're going to say, you're stupid, and you're going to ruin the world. And you say, you're stupid, you're on the world. But if you're doing it to be makarev, you're doing it to get close to somebody, what's the sense of the debate? We debate with the bigger matara that I'm going to bring you closer. So I would say to the kid, tell me, what's your thought process? I'm so interested to hear. Well, let's say talk about the army. The Haredim, they suck blood out of the thing, and they're supposed to go ahead, and everyone's supposed to pay for them, and they're dying, and you say, I really hear your point. I hear, because it's true, I do hear that point. I hear the Chiloni point. Chiloni taxi driver told me, why is my son prepared to die, and he could die, and my neighbor's son is not dying because he's sitting and learning? Because they don't appreciate our point of view. I hear what he's saying, right? Why is our blood free and your blood is not? And the truth is, if the Chilonim would not be in the army, or if, let's say, if Arachim would be fully successful and all the Chilonim would become Charedim, then we do need an army. So we would be stuck. But because they want to fight and we want to learn, and we believe that learning is protecting them, and some of them also understand that the Schus HaTorah, and there is a way to describe that. How come Israel is surrounded by 70 wolves, and there's a schus because we're Jews, and what keeps us Jews is Torah. But it takes a lot to explain our side. Their side is something everybody would agree with. Explain to me your side. I hear you completely. I hear it completely. You want to hear my side? If he says no, then you say no problem. End of the debate. There was no harm done. And most of the time they'll say, no, I'm not interested in your side. Your side is stupid. Okay. Pass the fish. Let's move on. There's no argument. You're not trying to win him over. You're trying to win him. You're not trying to win the debate. So you listen to him. I hear you. Would you like me to say the other side? Now let's say he says yes. So you're going to say, well, the idea is, Republicans versus Democrats, right? Gun control, people fighting over gun control. Well, I feel that even that really, if we take away guns, then there'll be less chance of bad people getting their hands on guns. And he's going to say, you're crazy. All the bad people get guns anyway. It's only the good people that are not going to. And you're not going to take it. You're not going to take his attack personally. And you say, I hear you. It makes a lot of sense. I want to think about it. Now, the next day, you find an article on whatever the disagreement was, you find an article that agrees with him. And you say, look, I found an article, mamash, about this, and agree with you. You're so smart. Okay, so do you agree with me? I'm thinking about it. The day after or 2 days later, you find an article that agrees with you. And you say, look, do you want to see this article? This explains a little bit why I'm thinking what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure. I want to hear about this. And you go back and forth and back and forth. And each time, and this is very key, throughout the debate process, you never, like I said, you never put down the other side. You never say you're stupid, you're gullible, you're naive. What are you thinking? How could you think like that? Blah, 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 blah. You never take what he says personally, and you look for every time to validate him and his brain. Say, wow, you're so smart, and you try to put in jokes. I was always able to find a joking way to lighten things up. And you look to boost your relationship. Wow, you're so smart. I still disagree with you, but one thing's for sure, you are smart. You read up on this. You know what you're talking about. I'm very proud of you. You're very smart. You should run for president. You should run for Congress. The world would be a better place with people like you. I appreciate your passion. You could say not altogether, I see how passionate you are. That's good. It's good to be passionate. Yeah, I want to think about it. I'll get back to you. Then you show him how he was right. And then you go ahead and you say how he's right and how I'm right. And each time you look for a way to compliment and you look for a way to improve the NKM and never get sucked into the dialogue. Our tafkid is to improve nafshik shura benafshik. That's our tafkid. Our tafkid is nothing else. We're not here to accomplish a win. We're not here to convince him. We're here to build NKN because the more that you have a connection, the greater the automatic influence is there and it changes a person's mindset.